Welcome to Light Inside Me. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a loop like a hamster running endlessly on a wheel, going through the motions but never really going anywhere? Your life plays out on repeat. Your mind starts to feel less like a guide and more like a cage, and your own thoughts become the bars that keep you locked in. Or maybe you're just exhausted, tired of all the invisible rules, tired of carrying belief systems that don't feel like yours anymore, tired of knowing deep down that you're meant to live more fully, but somehow you still feel bound. If that sounds like you, you're not alone. Plato once said we can forgive a child for being afraid of the dark. The real tragedy is when grown men are afraid of the light. And that light, it's not something outside you. It's the part of you that's raw, real, and fully alive. It's your truth, your awareness, the unfiltered version of you that's been buried under years of fear, self-doubt, and conditioning. But here's the thing, we've learned to fear that part of ourselves. We're scared to ask questions, scared to push back on the stories we've inherited, scared to live a life that doesn't follow the script. So we shrink, we hide, we let our insecurities write our narrative, we let our past define us. And we hold ourselves back not because we can't grow, but because we've convinced ourselves that we're not enough. As Eckhart Tolle once said, the mind is a superb instrument if used rightly. Used wrongly, however, it becomes very destructive. But the good news is you don't have to be a prisoner of your own mind. You have the power to step out of those chains. You can question what you've been taught. You can challenge the limits you've placed on yourself. And you can begin creating a life that feels true to who you really are. That's what this video is all about. Today, we're continuing our journey into the heart of self-mastery with a lesson that digs deep into one of the biggest blocks we face, the mental and emotional straitjackets we've unknowingly wrapped ourselves in. Lesson 1. The straitjacketed soul. Let's talk about something we've all felt but rarely name: the straitjacketed soul. We're not talking about physical restraint. We're talking about the emotional armor, the mental chains, the quiet, invisible limits we place on ourselves that stop us from living fully, freely, and truthfully. We all have dreams, desires, longings, but somewhere along the way we get tangled up in fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear that we're not worthy of the life we envision. And so, we tell ourselves lies: I'm not smart enough, I'll mess it up, people like me don't get to live that way. These stories become our cage. Plato's words echo again. The real tragedy is when men are afraid of the light, because it's not the darkness that stops us. It's our fear of shining, of stepping into the truth of who we are. The shackles of conformity society pushes us to conform. We're taught what to wear, how to speak, what to believe, and even who to be. We're shaped to fit in, not to stand out. But in the process, we begin to suffocate. We lose touch with our essence. We start performing instead of living. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. So how do we break free? Here's where real transformation begins. 1. Self-awareness. Start by noticing the inner restrictions. What beliefs are keeping you small? What fears are running the show? Once you see the patterns, you can begin to dismantle them. 2. Self-acceptance. You don't need to be flawless to be whole. Embrace your quirks, your messiness, your scars. They're what make you real. As the saying goes, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. 3. Self-expression. Say what you really feel. Wear what you love. Create what excites you. Live with the kind of honesty that doesn't seek approval. As Frida Kahlo once said, I am my own muse. I am the subject I know best. 4. Challenge the status quo. Don't accept life as it's handed to you. Ask questions, break rules when they don't make sense. Live examined, not on autopilot. Like Socrates said, the unexamined life is not worth living. 5. Take risks. Growth doesn't happen in the safe zone. Say yes before you're ready. Jump before you're sure. As Richard Branson puts it, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, say yes and learn how to do it later. If real people, real breakthroughs. The hidden artist. They've been sketching for years but never shared a single piece, afraid of being judged. Then one day they share something raw and finally feel seen. The silenced employee, they've played by the rules, kept their head down until they speak up, challenge the norms, and find a new sense of power in the process. The people pleaser always saying yes, always putting others first, until one day they set a boundary and realize they've finally started choosing themselves. Final thoughts. The straitjacketed soul is not your destiny. It's a condition, one you have the power to undo. By becoming aware, embracing your truth, expressing what's real, and refusing to conform, you can release yourself from the mental cages you've outgrown. You can step into a life that's honest, full, and deeply your own. As Maya Angelou once wrote, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. So today, make yourself feel alive. Lesson 2. Wealth and freedom are free. Free your mind, it's the real billionaire's playground. Let's talk about something that sounds almost too good to be true. Wealth and freedom. Being free. But before your skepticism kicks in, this isn't about lottery tickets or trust funds. It's not about yachts or stacks of cash. This is about a different kind of wealth, one that comes from the inside out. The kind of freedom no one can give you, and no one can take away. From the illusion of material wealth. We live in a world that worships things. The luxury car, the designer wardrobe, the vacation selfies. Everywhere we turn, we're fed the message that more stuff means more success, that happiness is for sale, and fulfillment comes with a receipt. But the truth, material wealth fades. It can be lost, broken, stolen, or worse, it can leave you feeling emptier than before. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. True wealth isn't about how much you have. It's about how little you need to feel full. It's about contentment, gratitude, perspective. It's the real meaning of freedom. Freedom isn't doing whatever you want, whenever you want. Real freedom is something deeper. It's being free from your compulsions. Free from the grip of desire. Free from the fear that keeps you small. It's waking up in the middle of chaos and still feeling grounded. It's facing setbacks without losing yourself. As Epictetus put it, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. When we stop chasing what we can't control and start mastering what we can, we step into a kind of freedom that's unshakable. The billionaire mindset. So what does it really mean to have a billionaire mindset? It's not about having billions in your bank account. It's about having an abundant spirit, a heart full of gratitude, a mind that doesn't rely on external validation to feel rich. Here's how to cultivate that kind of wealth. 1. Practice gratitude. Start each day by noticing what's already good: your breath, your body, your relationships, your passions. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. 2. Focus on what you can control. Don't waste your energy trying to control the uncontrollable. What matters is your attitude, your actions, your mindset. That's your power. 3. Embrace simplicity. Let go of the need for more, 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 more status, more noise, more likes. Simplify. As the saying goes, the best things in life aren't things. 4. Invest in yourself. Use your time, energy, and resources to grow. Read, learn, explore, create. The return on self-investment is the only guaranteed wealth. 5. Give back. True abundance overflows. Be generous. Not just with money, but with time, with care, with presence. Generosity turns wealth into meaning. Real-world reflections. The minimalist millionaire. There are wealthy individuals who've ditched the excess not because they had to, but because they realize that simplicity brings peace. They choose purpose over possessions. The volunteer CEO, people like Patagonia's Yvon Chouinard, have built companies around giving. Their definition of success includes service, not just profit. The happy camper. You don't need millions to feel rich. Studies show that after our basic needs are met, more money doesn't mean more happiness. What does connection, growth, joy, meaning? The bottom line. Wealth and freedom are not about what's in your wallet. They're about what's in your mind. They're not found in what you accumulate, but in how you live, love, and give. So start seeing yourself as already rich, not someday, but now. Because the most valuable treasures in life, they're the ones you carry inside you. As the Taoist philosopher Lao Tzu said, he who is contented is rich. Lesson 3. Don't tell yourself stories. Your brain loves drama. Don't let it direct your life. Let's have a heart-to-heart, not about fairy tales or fables, but about the silent stories we whisper to ourselves, the ones we carry without question, the ones that shape how we see ourselves, others, and the world even when they're not true. We're not talking about bedtime stories, we're talking about the mental narratives that run on repeat inside your head. I'm not good enough. I'll never get it right. Other people have it all figured out. These aren't facts, they're stories. But the more we repeat them, the more real they feel. And before long, they're not just in your head, they're driving your choices, limiting your potential, and defining your reality. So your brain, the storyteller. Our minds are wired for narrative. It's how we've always made sense of the world, connecting the dots, predicting outcomes, assigning meaning. It helped our ancestors survive, but in today's world, this storytelling instinct can easily turn against us. We fill in gaps with fear. We assume the worst. We interpret silence as rejection, failure as identity, and uncertainty as danger. As the Stoic thinker Epictetus once said, it's not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. It's not what happens, it's the story we tell ourselves about what happens. Reclaiming the narrative. So how do we stop being ruled by the drama in our heads? It starts with 5 powerful shifts. 1. Awareness. The first step is to notice the stories. What's the script playing on loop in your mind? Is it kind or cruel? Is it based on reality or fear? Awareness gives you distance. Distance gives you choice. 2. Question the story. Just because a thought shows up doesn't mean it's true. Ask yourself, is this based on evidence? Is this a fact or a fear? Don't accept every narrative at face value. Challenge them. 3. Reframe the lens. Your mind might say, I'm a failure. Try shifting that to I'm learning. Instead of I always mess things up, say I'm still figuring things out. Same life, different lens, better results. 4. Return to the present. Most stories live in the past or the future, but real peace, it lives here. In this moment, drop the projections. Breathe. Feel what's real, not what's imagined. 5. Practice self-compassion. You're not perfect. Neither is anyone else. Talk to yourself like you would a dear friend, with patience, with care, with truth. Shame writes cruel stories. Kindness writes honest ones. Real life shifts the job interview. Old story, I'm going to bomb it. New story, I've prepared. I'll show up fully. That's enough. The breakup, old story. No one will ever love me again. New story. This hurts, but it's not the end. I'm healing. I will love and be loved again. The setback. Old story, I'm a failure. New story. This is a challenge. I'm still growing. I'm still here. To the bottom line, you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them, the author with the pen in your hand. You get to rewrite the narrative. You get to tell a better story. One rooted not in fear, but in truth. Not in shame, but in strength. So the next time your mind starts spinning tales, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, is this story helping me or holding me hostage? Because the stories you tell yourself will either set you free or keep you small. Choose freedom. Lesson 4. Don't trust the senses. Your mind is a master illusionist. Don't fall for the trick. Let's get into something that might just flip your worldview. What if I told you your senses, the very things you rely on to understand the world, aren't always telling the truth? I know. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi film. But hang with me. This isn't about paranoia or conspiracy. It's about perception and how your brain, while brilliant, isn't always an honest narrator. The illusion machine. Every second, your brain is flooded with input sites, sounds, smells, sensations, but you're not experiencing raw reality. You're experiencing your brain's version of reality, a filtered, interpreted, sometimes wildly distorted simulation based on your memories, your expectations, and your assumptions. Like Plato's allegory of the cave, you're not seeing the world itself, just shadows cast on the wall. And you think that's all there is. What you believe to be solid truth might just be your mind filling in blanks, smoothing edges, guessing, and sometimes guessing wrong. Like a glitch in the matrix. It's not just philosophy. It's neuroscience. Your brain fills in gaps. It edits, adjusts, makes things up not to deceive you but to help you function. Still, it means the reality you think you're seeing might be skewed, cropped, or colored by your internal filters. And those filters, they can trap you if you don't learn to challenge them. Why you should question your senses. 1. To avoid snap judgments. Your senses might show you a partial picture, and your brain rushes to fill in the rest. That's how misunderstandings happen. Pause. Check the full context before you jump to conclusions. 2. To see through bias. What you sense isn't neutral, it's shaped by your past, your culture, your mood. When you question your perception, you begin to see through those layers. 3. To expand your world. Your eyes see only a fraction of the light spectrum. Your ears catch just a sliver of sound. There's so much more out there beyond what you can sense. Questioning opens you up to a richer, deeper experience of life. 4. To cultivate mindfulness. When you become aware of how your mind interprets sensation, you stop reacting blindly. You start responding thoughtfully with presence, clarity, and calm. Akulmanam real-life reminders. The optical illusion. That image that tricks your eyes, a perfect example of your senses being fooled. What you see isn't always what's there. The placebo effect, believing a sugar pill will heal you and then it does. That's your brain rewriting your experience, powered by belief. The unreliable memory. Eyewitness accounts can be deeply flawed, and why? Because memory isn't a recording, it's a story. A story shaped by emotion, suggestion, and time. The bottom line. Your senses are tools, helpful, but not infallible. They're the window, not the view, the map, not the terrain. If you want to live wisely, live awake. Don't just accept what your mind presents as truth. Question it. Pause. Observe. Seek clarity beyond the noise. As Descartes once wrote, I doubt, therefore I think, therefore I am. Doubt isn't weakness, it's the beginning of wisdom. And wisdom, my friend, is the real superpower. Lesson 5. Don't unintentionally hand over your freedom. Your mind is not a public restroom. Keep it clean. Guard it well. Let's have a real conversation, one that hits closer than we think. I'm not talking about political freedom or legal rights. I'm talking about something far more personal. The freedom of your mind. Because here's the truth. Most people miss. You can live in a free country and still be a prisoner. Who's really in control? Look around, distractions everywhere. Ads telling you what to want. Algorithms deciding what you see. Influencers shaping what you believe. Even well-meaning people, friends. Family trying to mold your opinions, your values, your direction. If you're not paying attention, if you're not actively choosing what enters your mind, someone else is doing it for you. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus warned, if someone gave away your body to a stranger, you'd be outraged. Yet you hand over your mind to anyone who comes along. Think about that. Every time you let someone hijack your thoughts, every time you absorb opinions without question, every time you react without reflection, you're surrendering your mental freedom. Your mind is a fortress act. Like it. Your mind isn't just where you think, it's where you create, feel, decide, and become. So why let it be overrun by noise? Treat it like a fortress, one that deserves to be guarded, cleaned, strengthened, and respected. One where you and only you decide what gets in and what stays out. How to reclaim your mental sovereignty. 1. Guard the gates. Be mindful of what you consume. Not everything deserves your attention. Limit the noise, the doom scrolling, the mindless chatter. Garbage in, garbage out. 2. Think for yourself. Don't just accept things because they're popular, repeated, or loud. Question them. Challenge your own assumptions. Think deeply. Think independently, even if it's uncomfortable. 3. Protect your attention. In a world of constant distractions, your attention is currency. Don't waste it. Turn off the background noise. Make space for deep thought, reflection, and silence. 4. Choose your influences. The people around you shape your mind more than you think. Surround yourself with those who challenge, uplift, and inspire you. Distance yourself from the ones who drain your energy or distort your clarity. 5. Take radical ownership. Stop outsourcing your thoughts. Stop blaming the world for what lives inside your head. Your beliefs, your choices, your focus, they're yours. Own them. So large. Real life, real choices. The social media detox. A week off platforms that stir comparison and anxiety might be exactly what your mind needs to breathe again. The news fast. You won't miss anything essential, but you might gain your peace. The mindful media diet swap doom scrolling for books, lectures, or conversations that expand you. Feed your mind with purpose. The final word. Mental freedom is your birthright, but it's not guaranteed it must be protected, and that starts with you. So build that inner fortress, not with walls of steel, but with clarity, intention, and awareness. As philosopher Immanuel Kant said, enlightenment is man's emergence from his self-imposed immaturity. Your mind is yours. Don't let the world rent it out. Lesson 6. Find the right scene. Your guide to curating your life's soundtrack. Imagine your life as a movie. You are the director. Every scene you create, every character you bring in, and every soundtrack you choose influences your daily experience. If your life feels like a messy drama or a repetitive loop, maybe it's time to switch the scene. How do you create a life environment that uplifts you? Choose the right cast. Surround yourself with people who energize you, support you, and inspire your best self. You become the average of those you spend the most time with. Set the stage. Your physical space deeply affects your mental clarity. A clean, inspiring, and intentional environment supports emotional balance and creative flow. Curate your soundtrack. Music shifts your mood. Make playlists that reflect your goals, whether it's calm, focused, or joyful energy. Craft meaningful rituals, from morning meditations to evening walks. Rituals ground your days and bring structure, presence, and meaning to your life. Embrace change. Your needs evolve. Don't be afraid to update your scene, the people, places, and practices to reflect who you're becoming. Lesson 7. Find yourself a K, your personal Jiminy Cricket, but way more hardcore. Who's your mirror, your moral compass? In Stoic wisdom, Seneca advised, choose someone whose way of life and words earn your admiration. Let that person be your guide and reminder. In other words, find your K, a personal standard-bearer for integrity and growth. AK is your ethical compass, someone who helps you stay grounded in your values when life tests you. AK holds you accountable. They'll call you out when you stray, support you when you struggle, and celebrate your growth. A K inspires excellence through their own life. They show you what's possible and challenge you to rise higher. And if you don't have a K in your life, become your own. Develop that inner voice, clear, honest, unshakable, that won't let you lie to yourself. Lesson 8. Live without restriction. Your guide to breaking free from BS belief systems. Freedom isn't about doing whatever you want. It's about freeing yourself from the beliefs, rules, and stories that were never yours to begin with. Society is full of restrictions about how to act, look, succeed, believe, and we often adopt them without question. But real freedom, that's internal, and it starts when you decide to break the script. Question everything. Challenge the norms, the expectations, the assumptions, especially the ones that live inside your own mind. Challenge your beliefs. Many limitations are learned. They came from childhood, culture, or fear. You can unlearn them. Embrace uncertainty. Control is an illusion. The more you release your grip, the freer you become. Follow your own path, even if it's unfamiliar, especially when it's unpopular. Live authentically, be fully unapologetically yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Lesson 9. See things as the person at fault does. Walk a mile in their shoes, even if they stepped on yours. We love blame. It feels powerful, but it rarely helps. When someone hurts us, it's easy to judge. What's hard and powerful is empathy. Empathy isn't about excusing bad behavior, it's about understanding it. It's about seeing beyond the surface into the fear, pain, or ignorance that may have driven someone to act the way they did. Empathy deepens understanding. Empathy reduces resentment. Empathy builds compassion. Empathy strengthens connection. You don't have to agree with someone to try to understand them. But when you do, you reclaim your peace and rise above the conflict. Lesson 10. One day, it will all make sense. Your cosmic jigsaw puzzle and how to find the missing piece. Life can feel chaotic, disconnected, like random events that make no sense. But wisdom whispers, keep going. It will all make sense in time. When things fall apart, when the path is unclear, trust that you're still part of a larger design. Here's the Stoic lens. Amor fati. Love your fate, not just accept it, but embrace every part of it. Even the hard parts, especially the hard parts. Everything is connected. Even what seems random plays a role in your growth. Life has hidden threads that tie everything together. All is impermanent. No emotion, success, or failure lasts forever. Change is the only constant. Perspective shapes reality. The meaning isn't in the event, it's in how you choose to view it. The job you lost, the love that ended, the path that disappeared one day. It'll all click. The puzzle will come together. Until then, trust the process, embrace the chaos, and keep showing up.